Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm about to start. I'm actually very surprised there's so much people showed up. Yeah, so I was wondering, like, do you come here because you actually need to use your decentralized storage for something? Is there anyone? Or maybe you're building a product like that? No, just free time on Friday. Well, thank you for showing up anyways. Uh, Right. I want to tell a little bit about myself. My name is Polina. I'm in the space for a really long while now, pretty much since 2015 on Bitcoin and ICO Wave and whatever. So yeah, you should definitely listen to my opinions here. And what we're going to talk today about is why we're building a new storage, what's the point of building it, because there are other storages, is there even a place for a new decentralized storage? So here's a brief overview on why. I think, well, that quote kind of looks like from 90s or something, but that was actually said by Andy Jassy last year, I think in May, which is 95% of the world IT spend is on premises and not in the cloud. And we'll still think, wow, that's a lot, but frankly, what he tried to say is, Amazon can grow 20 more times from this because, like even a 5%, it's still a huge oligopoly. And this is a graph by A16Z, also made like last year or something, analysis on who owns how many percentage of the cloud space. And you can clearly see like Amazon is leading this thing, then all the other fancy names like Microsoft and Google, Alibaba, they're on the bottom. You don't see really anything decentralized here because I don't think there's like actual decentralized cloud provider as of now that's generally used. And then there's this thin line of others. And what this is all these providers that actually are one by one. They run OpenStack, for example, or Kubernetes or Linux, and they provide their services locally in France or Germany and so on. And the point here is what they offer to the market is not very compatible to Amazon because together they're number 2 provider, but they're kind of competing with each other. They use open source, most probably somehow tinkered, but not their own implementation like Amazon. And they have very fragmented developer UX, and APIs are different, while in Amazon it's like, you just use Amazon, everybody knows Amazon, right? But if you want to use something else, you always have this barrier to actually use it. And they don't really have interoperability between each other. Like the best you can do right now in the market in this space is try to get the same Amazon interface on top of your implementation, so it's really easy to shift from Amazon to your product, name the product. So TLDR, there is a clear economic coordination failure, and unable to clearly, nicely leverage combined scale. And the market power of oligopoly is such that why the oligopoly generally is a problem, because oligopoly creates a barrier to entry for new players because it's very hard to compete with one huge scale thing. And then as a result, you have all the customers because there is no other players on the market. Then you can just shift up the prices and cause higher pricing. And that's pretty much the problem with the Amazon, because they eat in their own customer margins. And you can see from this graph here, I don't remember where I take it from, but this is how much out of the revenue these companies spend on their cloud. And that's a lot. And every DevOps has this saying that if you want to spend infinite money in a very short time, you just use Amazon. This is just what I found in like 2 minutes if you just Google search for that. Because you just, span another instance, forgot to turn it off, and your bill just skyrockets, and so on and so on. Or if your startup actually becomes used by a lot of people, you just have an unlimited bill on Amazon. And out of all the cloud that exist, S3 is particularly profitable. And as you can see, it's about estimated 50 to 70% of the whole Amazon revenue, which is, more than a half, just for the storage. And overall, the storage needs are growing based on the different segments. The cloud data backup and data archives growing, more use cases. But very new ones showed up pretty recently, and This year, during Open Infra conference, NVIDIA actually released their statistics. They use about 1 petabyte a day just for their AI training. This is the amount of data that they generate daily. And well, they have their own cloud storage that they use with OpenStack Swift. And yeah, this is why I think that this graph is actually growing exponentially. I mean, right now, if you can see on like 2023, it's maybe like about 1/3 or maybe a quarter from what we'll have, 1/4 missing from what we'll have by 2025. But especially with AI, I think that would actually probably grow a little bit further than that. So yeah, we need more storage. Takeaways from everything said above, cloud has been a force for centralization and oligopolies. And we're in decentralized space. We all know why centralization is bad, especially on like Tornado Cash, to be example here. Pretty much no matter how much people would tell the freedom of speech, your data is private and secure, if someone comes to your company with like US court issued subpoena and tells you need to delete this data or show it to us or give up your service to the government, you most probably will do that. I mean, it's not only in the United States, but I mean, we have so much infrastructure in the United States, so it is relevant. And then, yeah, oligopoly being probably less concentrated problem in the decentralized space because, yeah, the worst the oligopoly can do is shift up the prices. But I mean, there is so much shift you can do until you reach the house market pricing, right? So, and the other thing is that open source actually helps, but it is not enough because right now open source solution exists, OpenStack, and you can spin off your cloud, you can use it in your cloud. But still, people do not want to run their own software. Amazon is so easy and convenient. Why bother? You just use Amazon, and there is not so much of competitive market. It's just being centralized little by little every year. So yeah, centralization, boo. Oligopoly, boo. Now is the time to build a storage. And yeah, here is probably another question to raise why there is a need for another decentralized storage, because okay, there's obvious that there is a problem in the Web 2 space, but how much the problem there is in general. And what I think that like very simple truth is if you run around hackathons or just oversee like other projects in decentralized space, it's very clear that a lot of people still use Amazon because of how convenient and reliable it is. And I mean, it's just clearly lack of an adoption of decentralized storages in decentralized space. And yeah, this is pretty much why we think there is a niche still and why there is a new storage coming to town. So this is a short list of our thinking, how it would be the best to take something great of Web 2 and Web 3 and combine that. So why everybody keeps using Amazon is because it has these 4 properties, which is pretty much resilience, availability, capacity, performance. So this means the ability to write data when you want to write it, to read data when you want to read it anytime. Then this service itself has to be available and you have to be able to put any amount of data that you need in there. And obviously performance needs to be up to date so it doesn't take infinity to load a small text file. So, and then comes Web 3, and Web 3 brings to the table immutability and verification of ownership and content, which is pretty much, you can still have private data, but have a permissionless access in the network. And yeah, decentralized projects also in Web3 brings a lot of stake into open source development in general because it's a bad practice to have not a private repository in the decentralized space, so that's also cool. And yeah, obviously Web3 brought like exit to DAO option currently, so transparent community governance and acceptable user policies. So just mixing that all together should be great for the storage, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, let's have a little bit diving in what we're actually building. The project is called OnMachina. That's what I'm talking about here all this time. That's what we're building. Yeah, I'm a co-founder and the product manager of this. And yeah, we're building on top of Near. I guess would be nice to say we're kind of layer 2 to Near. We use it for authentication services and Ledger as of now. Near has this awesome account system that is kind of account abstraction where you can have unlimited keys underneath one account and every key has different access rights towards this main account. Well, then also Near is super scalable in itself, and the most importantly, it is very cheap, so that's why Near. On the left, in storage itself, storing data on chain is definitely not a good idea, and that's why we're not doing it. We have special dedicated storage nodes, and we only do ledger things on Near, but everything else stored off chain. And on the right there, there is reputation monitoring. So this is something we call statistical reputation service, basically like validators who will oversee that nodes actually store what they say they store, and they can track like how performant nodes are they available at all, and all the other things like that. Did I miss anything? Nope. All right, let's zoom in to authentication. For the node, pretty straightforward. There is a user, he logs in with a Near wallet, very simple, into our client app. We check the credentials from Near, because it's also a key system. We can just create a GVT session token for them, and then they can use it in their console to send and store things to our storage service. That's pretty simple. For the node operators, there is additional step that includes staking. So it's pretty much the same. You go to the client app, you verify that you are who you are with Near Wallet, and then you need to stake some tokens because, well, obviously you need to put something, to make sure that people actually care about your data, we need to take something from people and not give them away until they behave properly. So, yep. That's a short overview. General for storage components, this is the thing that was on the right. So we have proxy nodes that whenever data comes in, it goes to the proxy nodes. Proxy nodes make sure that replication works well and put it on the different storage nodes. You can see these are all the nodes. They are decentralized. They can be in different shards. They can be in different continents, run by different people. And proxy node just makes sure that data is replicated well. It puts it on different nodes in the different to the different people. And in case node goes missing, there is process of rebalancing. Just put in the pieces that that node owned into different other storage nodes that still persist. Right. Okay, now is the time to demo, and I probably would need some time to tinker with the screen, so please bear with me. Okay, now I can share my screen and you can follow up, I hope. Where did... Okay, here we are, cool. Okay, so we have two parts here. First one, okay, this is the front tab. First one would be the part on how you can, okay, there we are, how you can actually spin off your own nodes. So this is pretty simple. You log in with operators on OnMachina.io. It looks kind of like this. We have a Near wallet. Obviously, we're on a testnet. You log in with your Near wallet. Let's try my Near wallet. Okay, not yet. We have ravioli.testnet, which is my account. You just log in, connect. All right. So this is the interface for the developers. And if you're a node, you can just shift to operators on OnMachina.io and you will have all your nodes running here. You can add a new node. Let's say ETHWarsaw demo. Yep, create sub account. This is what I've told that Near already has this kind of abstraction, account abstraction thing, because you can, for one Near account, you can create pretty much infinite amount of sub accounts. So here we go, it's created. While it was doing, I should actually have shown that you would actually stake some amount of Near into the contract to become a node. if you don't have near, that will fail. So now you can launch your node and join the network. For that, we need credentials file. Here it is. And we need to put it on our server. Where did that go? Oh, this is so hard to navigate here. Okay, so I have this server set up in this domain address, and let's just go straight there. All right, we need to actually copy the file, which I forgot. So, SCP. Okay, OnMachina.json, and we need to copy it to root at 145.40.105.83. Okay. All done. And is it here? Yay, OnMachina.json. Right. Sweet. So what are we doing next? What is written here? We need to create a folder for a Docker container to use it. Then we need to set access right for this port so the Docker container can actually use it. Then, yep, we need to mount a Docker image, which I clearly need to copy from here. Oh, yes, this one as well. We need to move the file into the mount folder and mount the Docker image. So the image is actually already there, and the server itself, this is just very freshly installed server with Ubuntu on there. Ubuntu has pretty much nothing but the Docker. And that's a different path for the image. Okay, load in the image. Now, in the admin page, we can actually see there is a command pre-made for the Docker container to run, which we can just copy-paste. Just pretty much set in environment variables and running the image under the OnMachina name, and let's do it. This is where the magic happens. It pretty much works by itself. Right now, it is about to sync all the other nodes. It will take a little bit of time. To try and make it work a little bit faster, we need to switch to the user side of it. Okay. This is the customer side where you can actually store the files you can authorize within that app. It also features the settings page where it's very easy to get your access keys from. In case, you can also use it console for it, but it's just nicer to show it from here. What I do here is I just export my account and export the token, which is nicely put in here for copy pasting. And let's get to another tab of terminal and try to throw in some files in there. So first I need to authorize. And then I have a small script in here. I don't know how good can you see that? Okay, so in here what we do is I have a bunch of files, like 1,000 files. And I just put them into OnMachina, and then we can see that it can actually see them in the different nodes. Let's, I don't know, let's modify the file name. So we can see it's actually working right now. Let's do file 1, 2, numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And pushing. Sweet. So much tabs. Right, this one. So you can see here, the files are actually adding up, And if you can see by the counter, because there were files from like 60s to 69, not all the files end up being on this specific nodes, but I mean, they show up. It works. Yay. All right. Do I want to show something else? Yeah, I also had another node here. We can push more files and see that actually different nodes have different files. Here we go. So here are some of the files that I just pushed recently. So this is another IP address here, ends in 181, and this one ends with 0.83. So we can just see that the different files end up being on the different nodes. And it has a little bit more logs that I tried to push files earlier today, and it was replicating it from the other servers. You can see it here. And back to this node, if we just wait a little bit, we can see it just continues to sync up the files that were previously pushed. And yeah, I guess this is our first client that you can use as a node operator. We're very early in project, so we're particularly happy that replication actually works. All right, that's pretty much it with the demo. Where is my presentation? Nope. This is my presentation. Slideshow. Loading. Yep. So demo is done. And yeah, because we're so early right now, I would just want to outline some principles that we're thinking of, and maybe something like unique selling points at this moment. So we're fully open source, obviously not in use for a decentralized project. With us, anyone can be a node operator. Obviously, you'll have more profits if you're like a huge data center, and maybe it will not be very reasonable to run it on your laptop, but still everyone could be a node operator, and we've just seen that it's pretty easy to run Docker on your laptop or from your laptop on the machine in the cloud center. Then yeah, predictable pricing, which is always a problem with decentralized storage, is that they have their own token, and then the pricing is in this token, and then token shifts depending on, I don't know, news, how successful the product is, and so on. So for now, we're going without token. That's why it's going to be very easy. You have the demand, you have the supply. Supply is very reasonably priced, and you always know how much it costs to run your data center. So just as in Web 2, predictable pricing. Yeah, because we're decentralized, user data is actually private. It can be tinkered with. If you tinker with any data just on your nodes, then it will not be possible to redo the file that was because the file is using erasure codes. The file is actually split into separate components. If one of the pieces of file is tinkered, then you cannot replicate the original file, and the node gets slashed. So that's and full automatic replication. Obviously, if the node is down, it just automatically replicates all the data that was on the node using the other pieces from the other nodes. And yeah, one simple API for devs to target. Actually, the thing that I didn't show up today, but maybe you can check previous demo that we did at Denver. We pretty much have 5 commands that you can use, which is to put files, to get files, and it's just that. You create container, you put files in it, it works. And yeah, that's it. Please check our website if you actually want to try and run your node and join test network. Please reach to us directly. For everyone else who wants to try and use it for their products, use it through API, just go to the website. We have a open test, the forum for beta testing, so you can apply there. Otherwise, here's Twitter. And yeah, now is the time for questions. Yep.
So why should I use OnMachina over Arweave, Shadow Drive, Filecoin, SIA, and a lot of other coins like storage solutions?
There are a couple selling Polines there. I would say probably we're faster, because where you put data, you can get it pretty much instantly. Then we have predictable pricing. So you don't need to buy any tokens or shift any tokens or have like some intermediary in between so you can use their service. You just use it.
I think Shadow Drive has predictable pricing and Arweave has the quick broadcasting.
I'm not that familiar with Shadow Drive, but with RViv, I mean, they're perma-storage. So it's more expensive, but you have this benefit of storing your data forever. But then do you really want to store all the data that you put there forever?
I mean, yeah, it's different use cases, but all right.
All right. Thank you for your question.
Any others?
Yep.
Can anyone run a proxy node or only storage nodes? Okay. Can anyone run the proxy node?
That's a good catch. So as for now, we're running the proxy node because we're early stage project, but eventually, yes. For now, we only have the software for the node and the software to use that node. So just stay tuned. We'll get back to this. Yep, I can give you.
When I store the data, do I have a choice on how many nodes it's gonna be stored? Because do you, if it is only on two nodes, whatever, if one gets tinkered or both of them get tinkered, then the data is lost, even if you replicate, right?
Sure. Actually, the thing that I missed a little bit. There will be a concept of shards, could be, for example, geolocation of where the shards exist, because GDPR compliance is a thing, and you can actually select the shard where your data is stored, and close. Yeah, I mean, exit, escape. In here, there's actually a concept of shards that you can check, and you can just pick which one you want, like globally you don't care, or you want Europe, or you want some specific thing. And well, for now we're only thinking about the geographical points of it. I guess there is a possibility of actually putting shards into some different segments of, I don't know, for example, how performant you need your storage. You're storing the backups, then you can do less performance. For now, no. It's easier to build replication if it's global, if it applies for everyone without choosing just. Oh, that's why the statistical reputation service is there. This is kind of validator that rechecks the data often and tries to replicate it. If it doesn't replicate it, shut down the node. So there is a third party that checks that. Right, more questions?
Okay, so this is the last one because we are running out of time.
Oh,
so
no.
let's be quick.
So what prevents nodes from hosting the data on centralized storage solution like AWS and then just faking it to the proxy nodes or validators?
Expenses.
Okay.
All right.
Quick answer. Thank you very much, Polina.
Sure.
And let's give a clap for Polina.
Thanks for having me.